What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl, Shelly Nicole, with Drinks After Work. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a busy weekend. It was a rather busy weekend. I'm telling you, my friends always got something planned for me. Some things I can make and some things I can't, but it was definitely an eventful weekend. I went out. My friend wanted me to go out with her on Thursday, but you know, when that auto pay hit, thank you, come again, it's like, all right, damn girl, I can't go, gotta wait till tomorrow. So I have some more money to spend. So I didn't go out with her on Thursday. I told her me and Kate we gotta make it up. And then Friday we went to Nautica Mile. It was actually kind of cool. I never been to Nautica Mile. My friend Shay and two of our other friends, we went to Nautica Mile, and it was cool. Just got some hookah, some drinks, and some food. The crab legs that we got they were good, a little overcooked, but they were okay. We went to Puerto Plata, and it was cool, but you know, City Island they ain't got nothing on City Island. I'm just saying, but it was still a good time. And then Saturday, what did I do Saturday? Saturday I went to a pool party with my friend Nisi. She invited me to, I think it was her cousin's pool party, and I was there for a little bit, but I didn't stay the whole time because I had to go back to work on Sunday. Went to work Sunday, and then my friend's boys, they turned one. I can't believe it. It's like she just had them, the twins. And I cannot believe. Raylan and Ryan, I'm just like, I cannot get over it. I got them like little outfits, kind of for the end of summer, I guess, like when the season starts to change. But see, in New York, the changing of seasons is drastic. Like, especially from summer to fall, it can be real drastic depending on, I guess, the year. I know, like last time, I think last year or the year before that, it went from like extremely hot to extremely cold out of nowhere. But it was like a cute short and like sweater outfit. Got them 2 different ones, and then got them 2 toys and 2 different cards. Somebody was like, oh, they're twins, just give them 1 gift. Why would I give twins 1 gift? Like, make that make sense. Like, if you were a twin, would you want the same gift as your sister or your brother? Like, no, you want something else. Like, you're your own person. So then I did that, and then that was it. And then, you know, I was like, okay, for the rest of the week, doing overtime. But I was just like, I'm so exhausted, so tired. But gotta put in this work, get things done. And even when everything like this was going on this weekend, I was just like, I had thought about it prior to, because I always think about like what topic am I going to talk about, but at this time I actually asked you guys on Instagram. Sorry, I don't know why I can't talk today. On Instagram, what is it that I should talk about in this future episode? Because again, I always like to hear what you guys want to talk about, what you guys want to, you know, speak on. Everything isn't just based off of relationship. I mean, I do circle it around relationships and self-love and God, but it's also in guidance, and it's also in certain things that you don't necessarily hear, or at least I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it on podcast platforms. So today's episode is social media and mental health. Now, I was kind of surprised at like this being the number 1 topic, but I also am not surprised, because I do feel like there are a lot of us who are suffering from, I call it like a social media overhaul, where we constantly just give too much to social media, and we pay social media way too much like attention. And granted, you know, that's where a lot of us get our news now. That's where a lot of us are informed about things that are, you know, are happening. Like the recent, the systems all went down, and it was just like a whole shit show. I didn't even know it was happening until I saw one of the girls who I follow. She said something about there being an outage, and I'm like, what? An outage? But then it started popping out all over the place. And you go to, like I said, you go to social media for everything. We all go to social media for all of our catching ups and what it is that we need to, just knowing what people are doing on their daily basis. Celebrities, regular people, whatever. We go for it for inspiration. We go to it for motivation. We go to it for ideas, whether it be styling ideas, whether it be home decor, whether it be anything like gym aesthetic. It's like you can find anything on social media. But I think what we fail to realize, and what is rarely, if ever, promoted, except for Mental Health Awareness Month, is the fact that social media is literally draining us. And we don't necessarily, I think we know that it's draining us, but we're not doing anything to fix it. We're just saying that, oh yeah, it's draining me, and we're just saying that, like, yeah, it's, I feel overwhelmed, or I feel anxious, or like a life is just making me anxious, and work is making me tired, and this and that and the third. But then it's like, also, when you think about it, how many times a day do you literally go to Instagram, you go to TikTok, you go to Twitter? I know they call it X now, but I still remember it as Twitter. They go to Twitter, you go to X, whatever, you go to Threads, you go to all these different apps that you have on your phone, just to keep refreshing your mind and keeping yourself updated with people who you follow or who follow you. That 9 out of 10 times, they really don't give a damn about you. Yeah, I said it. Let's talk about it. So for people who don't think that they need to detox from social media, here are some of the signs that I actually thought about that you can question yourself to ask, like, if you need to take a break from social media, whether it be you deactivating your profile, just deleting the app and not having the app on your phone for a little bit, or however you feel the need to detox yourself from social media. But these are the signs that you need to take into consideration if it's time for you to say, you know what, I'm spending way too much time in everybody else's business and not in my own. The first thing is you don't have any time for anything else. And I've done this myself, where I can be either like laying down, or I'm like in my house, or even at work, and I'm just like scrolling, especially on TikTok. I find I do it more on TikTok than anything, because it's just like you see a video, boom, scroll. See a video, boom, scroll. And you don't realize that 2 hours have just passed by. And it's like, oh God, what did I just do for these last 2 hours besides watch my phone and watch videos? Has that happened to anybody? Whether it doesn't have to be TikTok, it could be anyone. Instagram, I don't know, people, still Facebook if you use Facebook, but you literally have no time, or you think you don't have time for anything else, because you done spent so much time watching what other people are doing. That's how you know that that's one way for you to know that you need to detox. I'm telling you, I can't talk today. I don't know what's going on. The next thing is, ask yourself, is this the first thing you go to when you wake up? So I have had moments where, and I don't do it so often now because I'm more conscious about it now, I actually open up either the Bible app, or I'll open up the Bible app and then I will read the Bible like on my days off once I wake up, listen to some worship music, and then I'll go on Instagram or TikTok, or I'll make some food and then I'll go on Instagram and TikTok. Like, I dedicate my morning, my first time waking up, thanking God that I'm up, that I'm alive, that I'm, grateful for another day. And then after I get my day started, then I go on to Instagram and see what's going on. But if this is literally the first thing that you do, like you open your eyes and you turn over and you reach for your phone and then you go to Instagram, or you go to you have a problem. You seriously have a problem if this is the first thing that you do. You need a detox. The next thing that I think all of us do, and this is why so many people's anxiety and depression and confusion is so high now, even for myself, even for my friends, when we've had conversations and we've talked about it, when you start to compare yourself and your life to everyone, I literally had to start unfollowing a lot of people who were either not on the same time as I was mentally, like as far as where I was going and how I was changing, as I was as I was starting to develop like this new type of mindset and wanting to just change certain things about myself. I had to unfollow a lot of people who just weren't, like, whatever they posted just didn't align with me. And I just, had to unfollow them. A lot of celebrities as well, I unfollowed. If there are any celebrities that I do follow, they're ones that are more based off of like, they're about their business or they'll help motivational wise. They have something that like in common that we have in common that I agree with, or that I feel like I can learn something from her or him with. But I got rid of a lot of celebrities because they will make you go apeshit crazy, thinking that you need to like push harder than what you're doing, or it becomes less motivational. It becomes more like self-doubting, if you get what I'm saying. I can find out like what they're doing via Shade Room, via going on the, like, I follow the Shade Room. I follow people on Instagram, and then I follow some other site that I follow that like lets me know like, okay, any breaking news or whatever celebrity did whatever this and that and third. And if it pops up, it fucking pops up. But if it doesn't, I'm not searching for it. These are people who are not even in my tax bracket. Why do I care what they are doing? We're not friends. You live a whole different life. And I'm not jealous of your life. Bless you and the life that you have. But I'm not going to sit here and make myself go crazy because you have the things that, yes, one day I will obtain. But right now, as I'm going through the process, it can make you feel like you're not doing enough. And I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize, like the difference between motivating. If it's starting to become less motivating and it's starting to become more overwhelming, you need to unfollow, or you need to just get off of social media for a while. Even with the like comparing yourself to everybody else's life, like outside of celebrities, people who you follow, who you may have once saw as like a motivational person to help you in your life and in your path of where you're going, you're starting to feel like they're becoming more detrimental to your health and to your mental health more than they are helping, because they're like giving wrong advice to like, well, you're not doing this because you're lazy, and you're not doing that because it's this, and you're not doing, like, even if that's true, it's like there's different ways. I feel like there's different ways to be motivational to help people get to the point where they want to get to. Talking down to someone is not one of the like, you talking down to me is going to turn me off, and I'm not going to want to speak to you. And some people will say, oh, well, that's because you can't handle criticism. It's not that I can't handle criticism. It's a different way to talk to someone. You're talking at me versus talking to me. Completely different. If you want to help me with something, you can push me by giving me the things that you need to give me, like the, not attention, but like the advice that will help me get to that point, and I will definitely use it and I will take it into consideration. I'm like, all right, girl, let's go, let's move it. Compared to people like shooting you down and just saying this, and you're not doing this because of this, and you're not doing that because of that. And it's like, enough. Like, seriously, cut it out. The anxiety, which a doctor, I think, either posted it or wrote a article about it, that today's generation, their anxiety and depression rates are so high, and it's insane how many suicidal attempts and how many kids have really have shut themselves out from just their regular family, their regular friends, who they were or who they're trying to develop to be, because they're so concerned with what is being posted on social media and what these other kids who are taking social media and content very seriously, and yes, making a lot of money from it. Like, you literally don't need a 9 to 5 anymore. Like, it's crazy how you can go from a 9 to 5 to being a content creator, doing that consistently, and then you could be a millionaire. Like, at some point, God's going to be like, okay, here you go. You've been doing the great work. Here's all the rewards for it. But I feel like this anxiety also is coming from a place of kids feeling like a 9 to 5 is not okay anymore. And I wish people would also stop telling them that. Like, I get content creators have to make their content and whatever. But I also feel like people are lacking the honesty behind it, because even me doing it, like getting back into it, I don't know how many times I've stopped and started within the past 5 years of doing this, like since COVID, doing this past, like, well, actually before COVID, slightly before COVID, but the constant moments where you have to tell yourself everything is content. Everything is content. Like, I just put a video up on TikTok of me going what I bought from Target, and I'm just like, this is content. Put your phone out, take a video of what it is you bought, just so people can see, and people are actually interested in seeing what it is you bought from Target, and trying to get your numbers high enough, trying to get the right audience to see you. And it's so much work that I think a lot of people don't realize that comes behind this. Even doing a podcast takes a lot of work. I literally just don't come on here just to talk about nonsense or just like find topics out the side of my ass. I'm literally thinking of things every day. What can I talk about? What else is it that people are searching for answers for, that we can have a conversation and try to find the answers within each other and within our own experiences. Like, literally trying to come up with things. And sometimes, I'm not going to hold you, I get anxious and I'm like, oh my God, I got to come up with something this week. I got to think of something. And I literally told myself, like last week, I was like, you know what? If you can't come up with anything, it's okay. This week, I'm not giving you an episode because I don't have the mental capacity to do it right now. And I'll give you one the next week. I'll give you the one the week after that. But I'll promote all the other ones that I've had. You know what I mean? Like, and it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to take 2 days off. You need that mental recharge. There are times, and I've even said this to my mom, like, she, like, ever since she retired, she's very much so like going here, going there. And I love that for her, because I love the fact that just because you're retired, like, some people feel like just because you're retired, you just got to sit home and not do nothing. No, it's good that you can sit home and do nothing, but yes, go to plays, yes, travel, yes, meet up with old friends, yes, do a bunch of other things that you probably weren't able to do while you were doing your 9 to 5 that you can now have all the time in the world to do and enjoy your retirement. But I also have told her, like, girl, you need to sit down. And I'm very proud of her. She sat down and she stayed in the house on Saturday. I was like, very good. Do that. Stay in the bed, watch some movies, you know, whatever you have to do in the house, just do that. But don't move. Try not to move too much. Just relax. And again, I feel like it all goes back to what I said with anxiety, that we are so conditioned to just open our phone, get on Instagram or TikTok, and our anxiety starts to flutter. Like, you feel it in your stomach. That's really how you know that it is an issue, when you start to feel that in the pit of your stomach, that like, oh my God, I'm not doing this enough. Oh my God, okay, yes, I need to do this. Oh my God, yes, okay, she got that or he got that. Okay, I need to do this. And not taking into consideration, maybe that's what they want to do. It may not necessarily be what you want to do. It's just what they chose to do. They put in the time, which a lot of people don't show you the timing and the bad side behind all of it. And this is the result of what has happened. A lot of people aren't going to show you that. And everyone thinks everything happens for them quickly, like a snap of a finger, and then boom, they'll have the followers, they'll have the money, they'll have the audience. It does not work like that. It literally takes every day of promoting yourself, and it's a lot of work. And I feel like people fail to realize that social media can be it's very detrimental. Let's just not say it can be. It is detrimental. The next way you know that you need a social media detox is you feel anxious when you're not using social media. So try this out for me, right? Don't go on IG, TikTok, Facebook, nothing. Try it for like a day. Let's start small. I was going to say 3 days, but let's try it for a day. Don't go on it. And if you can bump it up to 3 days, bump it up to 3 days. If you could bump it up to 5, bump it up to 5. If you could bump it up to a week and a half, do that. But don't go on social media for any of those length of times. And see how it makes you feel. Do you feel like you're constantly having to like fight the urge to go on it? Or are you not able to do anything else in your daily life without having to check social media? And if the answer to that is yes, and if you're being honest with yourself, that you literally like are a fiend almost to going to social media or going to your phone and hitting the app, you again need a detox. You are too hooked to the outside world, to the social media world. You're too hooked to the fantasy world, and you're not in tune or tapped in with what's going on right now. Even with politics, like I'm not a big politic person. I thought that, once I hit 30, I'll be more into politics. Yeah, right. No, I'm really not. But this year, and this whole Project 2025 thing, if you haven't read this Project 2025, you need to read it, because it's disgusting and it's very scary if this thing comes into fruition. I have, like I said, never been into politics, but it's not until this moment where I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I need to read up on something, because this is not okay. If you feel like you cannot detach just from, and I'm just simply talking about social media platforms. I'm not talking about like getting your news or like getting up to date with what's going on in the world. I'm not talking about that. And yes, granted, like I just said, you do get some of your updates from IG and TikTok, but there are other ways for you to do it. Just check the news. Just turn on the news on the TV and you can just see what's going on. Or even if like just not even doing that, taking yourself out on a walk. Be by yourself, listen to some music, and just be with yourself for a little bit. Or go into something that you used to do. Like if you used to play basketball, and I know it's hot outside, so tread lightly. But if you used to play basketball and you haven't been doing it all summer, just go to the court when the sun goes down, or if you have the time in the morning, early in the morning before it gets too hot, go to the court, shoot around for a little bit. Go for a run. Go to a play or something. Go to pottery class, something that you're interested in that you can distract your mind from not going on social media. Just try it out. Like literally just give yourself a day, like I said, a day, 3 days, 5 days of not going on there. And if you break within, like if you tell yourself, all right, I'm gonna do it for a day, and you instantly break, you have a problem. Like I said, you're too tapped into what everyone else is doing, and you're not tapped into yourself. Another way too, and I laugh because my mom said that my generation and the generation before me or after me, we're gonna have early arthritis. So the other way that you need a detox, your hand hurts. So typing and scrolling will make your hands hurt. That movement of the constant like thumb or the constant like your index finger or whatever doing this up and down motion. She's like, she said we're going to be permanently throwing up gang signs because our hands are going to be so fucked when we get older because we just type away, and it's just this thumb action. And she's actually right, because there are times where I'm like feeling my hands, like I have carpal tunnel. I've had carpal tunnel for a while now, like for years actually. It was part of the reason why, like I used to braid a lot of hair, like when I lived back in the Bronx, I would braid some of my friends' hair, like, that was on the block, or like even just my friends, like I would braid their hair like in high school. And after a while, like even my own hair, I literally had to stop doing it because the carpal tunnel was insane. Like my hand would cramp up. I couldn't move. Even now at work, there are times where like I may not I feel it at work, but I know once I get home, I have to put my brace on because it will just my hand will start getting either really swollen, or it will just be real painful. But doing this whole typing thing that we've been doing it for a while, because you guys remember the Sidekick, you guys remember the Razor, you guys remember, the BlackBerry. Like, we've been using our thumbs and texting for a very long time. So she said by the time we retire, we're going to be throwing up gang signs. I thought that was hilarious, but she's not wrong. We are very much so in a arthritis crisis, carpal tunnel crisis, with this using our phones to do anything. But that is also a way that you need to put your phone down. That, do something else productive with yourself besides touching your phone. Granted, yes, a lot of people use their phones for work, and people use their phones for obviously stay in contact with people, but sometimes and that's probably the good thing too. Now you can send voice notes. So instead of like texting a very long message, just send a damn voice note. Even if you don't feel like calling anyone, just send a voice note. I love voice notes now. It's like short, simple, sweet, boom, no problem. I ain't gotta worry about, being on the phone with you for too long if I don't feel like it. No shade, just saying. Just being honest here. And the last way that you need a detox, you can't sleep. Your mind is already racing with things to do for the day, things that you haven't done for the day if you're just waking up. Adding social media to your playbook is not going to help with anything but trying to stress you out and not being able to go to sleep at night. Turn it the fuck off. Now, I know it's contradictory for me to say this because, yes, I have a podcast. Yes, I want you guys to tune in. Yes, I want you guys to tell everybody else to tune in. Yes, I want you guys to follow me on Instagram and follow the podcast on Instagram, my personal account and the podcast account. Yes, I want you guys to go on YouTube and watch the videos whenever I post a video. But take social media into small increments. There's no reason why you need to be on social media. The iPhone, I don't know if Android has it. I'm not an Androidy. I'm an iPhone girl. I know it tells you your screen time report. If you guys don't have that activated on your phone, you should activate it on your phone. It will tell you how, like in specific areas in your phone and different apps, how much time you spend on your phone throughout the day. I almost kicked myself. I almost threw my phone across the fucking room when I saw that I was on the phone. I was doing great. I wasn't on the phone for like my screen time, I think it was like 5 hours or so. And that's when I had my phone on DND. And this goes great into the next part of how to detox. So the first way of how I detox whenever I don't want to be on my phone, or if I don't want to hear any like notifications, I turn the notifications off. My notifications are off for Instagram. So if you send me a DM, or if I don't see any DMs, I don't see the likes, I don't see anything. All of my notifications are off. So that's why, like, if you sent me something and I don't respond, and it takes me like a day, 2, 3, sometimes 4 days to respond, it's because they're not on. And I purposefully turn them off. So that way I don't constantly check my phone every time I hear a ding, ding, like the constant notification from Instagram. TikTok, I think I do the same thing, but I think I don't do when someone posts. I think I do when someone sends me a DM, which I'm actually going to turn off too. But that's the only one that's on. Twitter isn't on, or X, whatever the hell you want to call it. That notification's not on. And I'm taking off the LinkedIn one too. I have the LinkedIn one. But turning off your notifications for social media is definitely, when I had Facebook, I did the same thing. I turned off my notifications on that too. turn them off. That way you are able to, give yourself the appropriate time as to when you want to check your phone and see what's going on. Because when you're constantly notified, like what's happening on social media, you're running to your phone. What happened now? Who posted this? Who did that? Who sent me this? Turn off the notification. Another way is you can log out of the apps. So I don't think you need to do this. I personally feel like turning off the notifications itself is good enough. If anything, so my phone is sorted. So I have like a social media group. I guess, I don't know what you call it, like a tab, a group, I don't know. But I have that like with all of my Instagram. Snapchat is still on there. I don't use Snapchat anymore. I really just use it for the pictures. The pictures come out good on Snapchat. But Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, I have it all on like one little QB thingy, whatever the hell it's called. And I put that in the back. Like it's on my last screen. So I'm not hooked to going straight to it. Like it's not on my first screen when I open up my phone, where like you'll see pictures and camera and the calendar, the phone, the music, like you won't see it there. I put it all the way to the end. So I personally don't feel like you need to log out of the apps, because it's nothing for you to just go right back and log back into it. And now that you have the Face ID thing, you don't even have to remember the freaking password. Just put your face to it and you log back in. So if it works for you, you can do that. Log out of the apps. But I think just turning off the notifications is good in its own. And this one, I feel like a lot of people may be real sensitive to and may take this to heart. But honestly, unfollow people you do not connect with. So like I said previously, I unfollowed a lot of people and I'm still unfollowing more as time goes on. I'm unfollowing a lot of people who I no longer, if your story pops up, it doesn't align with what I'm doing, or if I feel like you're not really giving, let me not be brass here. Let me just be real upfront. If I feel like majority of the time whenever I post something, you're just watching my shit and you're not liking it, I'm unfollowing you. And I'm saying this because even if I look at your stuff and I'm just like, okay, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, like what are we really being friends on Instagram for? If your birthday goes by and I don't say happy birthday to you, my birthday comes by, you don't say happy birthday to me, what are we really following each other for? We're just being nosy. So again, it doesn't have to be beef. Like it doesn't mean that I have a problem with anyone. It doesn't mean, say this right now, because if you become the person that I unfollow, it does not mean that I have beef with you. It does not mean that I have an issue with you. It does not mean that there are any, hidden agendas that I have. Nothing. It's literally, we have nothing in common from what I see, from what you post. You don't speak to me. I don't speak to you. What am I following you for? What am I following you for? And I'm not saying you're going to interact with every single person that you follow. Granted, you're not. I have 26,000 followers. I don't know how I have 26,000 followers. I really don't. But all 26,000 people don't interact with me. And I'm not expecting all of them to interact with me. But there are a lot of people who I follow personally, who I've known for years, who don't say anything to me. I don't say anything to them. We're literally just following just to be updated with our lives, but that also updating your life on people who really don't care about your life can also be a hidden agenda, a hidden envy, if that makes sense, that they have on you, that they're just not, that energy, like that's coming through the screen that you just don't feel or you don't necessarily see, but it's there. If you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to think of a better way to say it. It'll come to me, a better way to say that. But just not having people who are just watching. Like having spies almost on your Instagram just to watch what you're doing, but never comments on anything that you're doing. Never says congratulations. Never asks you like, how are you doing? Never notices like, okay, she's going through this or he's going through that. And if I do it to you, by all means, unfollow me. That I will take accountability for that as well. But literally just being more intentional with who you're allowing into your space. And I know some people really don't care either, because that's why we have close friends. I really just put I don't even know I don't really put much in my close friends, honestly. But even that, like, not the close friends, I mean, just even having people on your Instagram that you just don't care to have see your every move or your every accomplishment. A lot of people are envious. A lot of people are jealous. And a lot of people throw this envious and jealous spirit out there. And it can really play a big part in what happens or what effects happen in your life. So unfollow people who are no longer aligned with you. And again, it doesn't have to be beef. It doesn't have to be anything bad behind it. It's just, what are we following each other for? Unfollow. So D&D for my iPhone users, it's your best friend. Android, I don't know if you guys have something like that. You probably do have something where you can turn off all your notifications, like literally when someone calls you, when you get a text message, all of it. D&D, I did the D&D thing, I think, for like a few months. 2 months. I did it for 2 months. I did it for May and I did it for June. And that's when I was like really going through like a dark time. I was very depressed. I was losing weight. My friends, like, shout out to my friends for texting me or calling me or just like hitting me up to see if I'm okay. Like, they just knew without knowing, but they knew that something was up. And I was just like, putting my phone on D&D definitely helped me not only get closer to God, but also helps me to like really have a conversation with myself. I know it sounds crazy talking to yourself. I mean, shit, I'm talking to myself now while I'm doing the damn podcast. But still, you're listening though, and you're probably agreeing with me on the other side of this. But literally having a conversation and with myself and telling myself, okay, Shell, there are things that you have to change, girl. And a lot of changes have happened in the past 5 years with myself personally. A lot of accountability that I've taken, a lot of changing the way I see things, altering my perspective. And again, we're all evolving, we're all changing, no one's perfect. But I really made sure that like I was doing that work and very intentional with doing that work from those 2 months and continuing. But putting my phone on D&D was probably like the best thing that I could have done, that I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to run it up again. I think I'm going to do that again. And I think after like the summer is over, just for me, I feel like after the summer is over, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to like take another hiatus off of social media, but also, well, my personal social media, but, and also putting my phone on a D&D so that way I'm not distracted from other things that I'm trying to accomplish too. So definitely don't be afraid to do that. And if somebody has to call you or contact you, you'll see it eventually. Or you could have like I know they have like a thing where you can put favorites, and your favorites can hit you up, and your favorites can, like, if they call you the first time, it won't go through, but they can call you a second time and it will go through. So you can make a list of favorite people who can still contact you. Because, you know, like your family, like your mom, your dad, your brothers, sisters, even your friends, whoever, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and have them on, you know, your favorite list. That way they can contact you. But everybody else, you're just like not caring, respectfully, not caring if they hit you up. And the last way, which I feel like is the best way, is to take a vacation. A change of scenery will do you justice. I know that, like, granted, life is lifing for a lot of people. I know that times are hard. I know that money is tight for a lot of people. But there are ways that you can get yourself to change your scenery for a little bit, even if it's just for a weekend. Giving yourself a mental break from your everyday life on top of social media is a must. I feel like personally, I feel like you should take at least 2 to 3 vacations a year. It's 365 days in a year. What is wrong with you taking 2 to 3 vacations in a year? Hell, if you could take more than that, do that. But I do feel like almost every season you should take a vacation. If you can afford it. Like going away for spring break or around spring break time, sometime in the summer, if you can do that as well, like probably the end of summer, end of July, early August, if you could do that, breaking it up. So if you choose to go away in March, then you choose to go away end of July, early August, and then you choose to go away again end of October, early November. Just like, anything like that. Or even if you could just do 2. Pick 2 times out of the year where you're like, you know what, I need to decompress. I need to reset my brain. And when you're resetting your brain, put the phone on D&D. I swear, my next vacation, no one's going to be able to contact me besides my parents and my brother. No one's going to be able to contact me. I will see you guys. I will talk to you guys when I get back. But changing your scenery and giving yourself that time is probably one of the best things that you could, because you can't tell me after a vacation you don't feel better. Like after a vacation you feel like you can do anything. Like you can work a whole week straight and you have all the energy in the world. And it's also based on how you plan it, because I know some people say, with the money situation, you plan it a decent way, you can, God willing, you can take those vacations the way that you want to take the vacation. Like, and then there's so many ways to freaking pay for these things now. You can pay for your trip on Afterpay. You could pay for it on Klarna. You could pay for it on Affirm. Like, you don't even have to just put all the money down right now. And a lot of the hotels too, which a lot of y'all should look into. I know Expedia has them most of the time, but a lot of y'all should really look into book now, pay later hotels, because you can book it, reserve it at that price, and then you ain't got to pay for the shit until you get there. Gives you enough time to get your money together, to do that overtime, to have the money. Boom, when you get there, you pay for it and enjoy yourself. Put your flight on Afterpay. Put your flight on Klarna. Who the fuck cares? Take the trip if you need to take the trip, baby. And if you got those credit cards that got points, which actually I said I'm getting rid of one of my credit cards. I have one who I get points with, and I'm definitely going to use those points for my next trip. But I'm going to get rid of the other one where you don't really get points. Like, it's just a bum ass credit card. But I'm going to get rid of that one once I pay it off. And I'm going to get another one where it goes to mileages for, like, you could use those points for airfare. Get those type of credit cards. I didn't really think about it until, like, now. Like, until now, where I was just like, damn, why did I never do that when I was 18 and taking out credit cards and being stupid with money? Why didn't I think about having those type of credit cards? You know how much freaking points I would have had by this time? I could have been flying first class probably for 5 years straight if I would have done that shit. Do it now. If you don't have a credit card, or you have credit cards where you want to get rid of some of them, try to only stick to cards that do give you points, because those are actually pretty good. I mean, just make sure the percentages are not so high either, but the interest, but yeah, getting those definitely helps when it comes to wanting to, plan a trip. But take a break, like literally take a break. And if you can't fly anywhere, it is okay. You can rent a car. You can go to, there's beautiful places upstate New York that you can go to. There's beautiful places that you can go to. I think it's like closer to Maine or like Lake George. You can go over there somewhere. I haven't been to Atlantic City in so long, so I don't know how beautiful Atlantic City is. If you've never been, go ahead, go. Why not? But other places that like you can drive to. Take a road trip. Even if you can't do that, take a rail trip. I want to do a rail trip. That's actually kind of cool. I know somebody who did like a rail trip across the country. That was a long ass trip, but they loved it. And do anything just to change the scenery. Like I said, you need a detox. Take that vacation. In conclusion, guys, I want you guys to understand something if you don't understand it now. Social media is not a real place. Social media is like, so on my day off, I'm a Disney girl. I love Disney. I really want to go back to Disney World. I haven't been there so long. I was watching Alice in Wonderland. It popped up. I was watching Nat Geo. Somehow Alice in Wonderland came up after it. Whatever. It's like the fantasy world that she was in as she was sleeping. The sooner everyone understands that Instagram and TikTok, not so much TikTok, I feel like you could find more realistic people on TikTok, but then again, maybe not. But anyway, social media is not real. It's not a real place. And a lot of the things that you see your favorite influencers post, a lot of the things that you see your favorite creators post, a lot of things that you see a lot of these celebrities post, it's just to make themselves feel good about what it is that they've done, how they look, where they're going in life, whatever. And it's great to showcase your accomplishments, of course. Yes, you want to showcase them. But I guarantee you, a lot of people who have probably made it to where you want to go, if you ask them, how did you get there? They're going to give you the fucking runaround as to how they got there. Or they're going to tell you, I'll let you know, but I'm going to charge you $500. No one wants to give free game no more. No one wants to give helpful advice to help everybody. There's enough room at the table for everyone to eat. Yet everyone still wants to compete with each other. Whatever. But the sooner people realize that those same influencers were struggling, those same influencers or creators or friends that you follow, they cry at night, probably more than you do. A lot of them are struggling with internal demons that they're fighting, just like you and I. They wake up with their hair a fucking mess and their breath hot as hell and their ass probably smelling like crackers and shit. Everybody that posts these things, they're human. And they've had a journey just like you and I have had our journeys. The sooner we understand that, the better we can understand that we can use social media for different reasons other than heightening our anxiety and our fears. And again, if you are really struggling badly with this, you need to give yourself some time to let go and to decompress and to remove yourself from social media. It doesn't matter how long. You want to go an entire year without posting? Do that. You want to go an entire 6 months without posting? Do that. If you want to mute every single person's story and you don't want to see nobody's story, do that. I don't even know if you could do that, but do that. But give yourself the permission to be okay with not being okay because of what you're seeing and what you're feeding your brain. It is alright. We're all feeling it. So I hope you guys liked this episode. I hope it was informative. I hope it definitely helped because mental health for me has been very, I take it very seriously. I have big plans. Me and God have been talking about this big plans of what I want to do as far as with mental health. But I definitely want everyone to just reevaluate themselves and reevaluate what they're feeding themselves every day. Not just literally feeding themselves, but what you're seeing on your phone and what you're allowing yourself to have access to. It can be a lot. It really can be. And like I said, it's okay that you're not okay if you're mentally just going through it. You just need a break, babe. You need a break. You need to relax and you need to let it go. And you'll be okay. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I hope you guys if you're driving, I hope you guys get home safely. If you're about to go to bed, I hope you guys get a good night rest. And please do not bring in whatever happened today into tomorrow. And turn off the damn notifications on your phone, especially for Instagram. And do it now, because I know you're not going to do it. Well, if you're driving, don't do it now. But if you're not driving, do that. Turn off the notifications for Instagram and TikTok, and just start slowly if it's really hard for you not to come off of social media. But I really feel like everyone has to really take that into consideration. I love you guys for listening. Stay tuned for more episodes. Enjoy your night, guys. Later.